Today we've got something that you're not going to know what it is because it's a drag car. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be wheel spinning at 100 miles an hour. I've done it and it's not fun. Good, can we do this before it rains again? All right, welcome back everyone to What the Fuck is Going On Motor Addicts. Today we've got something that you're not going to know what it is because it's a drag car. My passion project, I love drag stuff, you guys know that. But we're reviewing this today because we've got Manston Airport all to ourselves. It's not a road legal car, but that doesn't matter. It's got a 565 cubic inch big block in it. It's a Dodge Dart Swinger in 1972. We're going to speak to Paul who owns it and find a little bit more about it. So here we go. Paul, thank you for coming down here, mate. It's been a bit of a drive for you, innit? This is something we haven't really done before, and we've got used to the airstrip, and me and you have known each other for many years. Paul has been, you're like the granddaddy of drag racing in the UK, aren't you? Like, you know it backwards.
With no prep, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Paul hosted Rockingham Raceway, did No Pep Nationals there, and it's just so nice to be able to speak to you on this platform with something that I want, because we review so many road cars and we've actually got the opportunity to look at Grumpy now. Yeah. So do you want to tell us a bit about the car, what she's about?
Wow, where to start? She is a traditional door slammer. In other words, she used to be a road car and she has evolved over the years to what she is now. So she's what you'd call a traditional car, where you start with a £20,000 street car and end up with a 10 grand race car kind of thing, but it stands you in about 50, 60 grand. Exactly. It's one of those kind of things. So she's a back half and front half car. That was done before I bought her, because that's always the best way to buy them, particularly when you first start. You haven't got loads of money. It's a good way to start. Bought her rolling, was sponsored by CNS Racing, which is still on the car.
Saw that,
they provided the first engine, and I've had her now 25 years.
Have you really?
Yeah, just a bit over 25 years. I mean, we've done Brighton Speed Trial with her. We've done, obviously, no prep. She's won various national championships at Santa Pod and at Shakespeare and stuff. Yeah, she's a great car.
Loads of history to it as well. I mean, this car was built 10 years before I was born, and that's saying something. But so you've had it, and it's had this engine in it the whole time, has it, or has it gone through?
No. Engines are consumables.
They
are
one
of the things that
change
you
over
find
time.
out. Oh yeah. She's probably had, I don't know, in the time I've had her, probably about 5 different engines in her. Most of the time, because we've changed things, we've upgraded things. We've always used the big block Chevy because it's the weapon of choice if you want to go drag racing. They're really strong, they're really tough. They were designed for racing when the Chevrolet designers originally designed it. So it's strong, it's good for parts, it's not expensive. We've only recently put a 565 in her, which is 565 cubic inches. But to do that, we had to change the Chrysler rear end because she's had a 8 3/4 Chrysler axle all the time. But I couldn't find anywhere on the internet that said you could have more than 650 horsepower without breaking it.
Right, okay.
We had actually broken it a couple of times before. So we had to change everything. So we had to change the transmission, we had to change the axle to put the bigger engine in, because we've always used a smaller engine, which gave us, performance-wise, she was about regular 9.6 second car on a quarter mile. Now she'll run 8s.
Yeah, wow. And it's on alcohol or pump gas?
It's on alcohol. Yeah, we've run her on alcohol for quite some time. We run a lot of the cars. With drag racing, it's just much easier to control the temperature of the engine because the BTUs produced by an alcohol motor is a lot less. Performance-wise, when you get really up there with compression and the sophistication of the engine and the power output, there isn't a lot of difference between that and gasoline, racing gas, but it's just easier to control the temperature.
Safer and it's safer for the engine rather.
Yeah, because as you know, when you're drag racing, you get to start, somebody else will track, you turn it off. Then you're going to go, and then somebody else has a problem. And by the time you've had the heat build up, because with these things, because they run so much compression, it's going to overheat. If you run it on gasoline, it's really difficult. I've tried huge radiators. All it does is you make the water expand more.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol just seems to be a way that works.
Let's have it. If you just show us around the inside of the car. So obviously, compared to some of the track cars that we've looked at, recently we did the Sierra Cosworth, which you guys would have said, I don't know if that's coming out now or before. But so that's orientated for circuit use. But there's a few things in something that's for drag racing, which is completely different to circuit racing. And there's a few things that are the same as well. Some of the safety aspects, I suppose. You need a cage in the certain place and whatnot. Just give us a talk through the interior, Paul.
Sure.
Just,
okay. Well, you've got this has an 8.5 spec cage, as you can see there, A15999. You obviously we run in national championship events, so everything has to be current. With this car, what we did when I first got her, she had the original floor in her, which we ended up taking out because since I've had the car, we took about 400 pounds of weight out of her without having to get her repainted. It's the original paint from when I had the car, but we did things like took the floors removable on the passenger side, and so's all the tunnel and the transmission tunnel. So if you do need to change things, you can get it out,
so
get it in.
Also, that's for, I presume that's for access for the transmission.
Exactly,
and, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Just make it easier because you are going to break things on these. So you need to obviously have a good inventory of spares and also a fair knowledge of what you're doing. I couldn't afford to pay people when I first started, so you end up learning yourself.
You learn it yourself.
Yeah, so that's what we've got that for. When we had the engine in the car originally, we've actually moved it back about 10 inches. The engine sits a fair way under the scuttle now for weight transfer because that makes it better. We've made quite a few changes all at the same time to help the car with weight transfer and at the end of the day make the car more competitive because what you want with drag racing is consistency.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also what we've always done with all the cars I've got is try and make them as efficient as possible. Otherwise, you know, some people look at it, you've got to have more power all the time. No, it's not just power, it's making the car work. It's a package.
Yeah, exactly that. And she's still it's probably a similar sort of size to the Nova, isn't it? It's like an intermediate sized body car.
Well, what year is your Nova?
70.
This is 72, so it's the same era.
Same sort of era car. Got a shoot on there. So what sort of times does it run, you know, at the pod or a professional track?
I think the fastest we've been so far is just under 887, I think, at 150. So she's made some nice improvements from what she had before. Before she was, like I said, a 9.6 car. So we've now got it into the 8s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's gone from a 461, which is about 7.5 litres, something like that. So now she's 9,000, as we worked out earlier, 9,250 cc with a 565. So it's not massively bigger. It's not even 2 litres bigger, but obviously the faster you go with any, in drag racing in particular, because it's only a measure quarter mile, the returns become a lot less. So you need a lot more power to go just
extra 10
a little bit faster. But
exactly.
you know, we've got, there's still a little more on the table with her, but I think we're getting there. There's a little more we can do with jet changes and maybe some suspension changes and stuff like that. We've just started running. We've just been playing around with the tyre pressures on her as well, because since they resurfaced Sans Pod, the track's different. It's better. And so it's a case of learning it and making the best you can from it.
Well, I guess now we can actually go out for a drive in it, because it's okay to do so, because it's not illegal to drive this on the road here, because we're on a track. So let's go out and have a listen.
Right, we're good.
Yeah.
Fuel's evaporated. This one's actually not that noisy.
It sounds alright.
Yeah, the other one, the PC has to wear earplugs. You can't even speak, can you? idle. Yeah. Obviously, what we do is you do a run, drive back, and then when you get back, you switch it on. But yeah, it's normally going around about 60.
Right.
Are we going around?
Yeah, put it round. Yeah, the concrete's cleaner, isn't it? Exactly, yeah. So responsive. Oh yeah. So now he's going to do some Hollywood tyres to get it warmed up. Just watch this. This is a real man's car.
The reason why we're doing this is for safety.
Yeah, not for pure entertainment.
Not for pure entertainment, safety. Here we go!
Yes!
There we go.
Yes! Come on! Yeah? Well,
there was a brown pants moment, wasn't
yeah. Once he stopped wheel spinning,
You know what? I don't think you would know that he's been here before.
in fact, the lines go pretty much all the way up. So when we're talking about 0 to 60 times, I don't think we could be expecting anything crazy from it because look at that.
Do you reckon he's a one and done, or do you want to go again?
He might want to go again.
Let me find out.
More less prep.
This is virgin tarmac. Like, yeah. A plane landed
Right.
on this last time I had a tarmac.
Can I just say this? In the words of Jamie, he'll be going again.
He's going again.
that was wrong.
He's going again!
He decided he don't feel safe, so he's calling it a day.
It's sketch.
Calling it a day.
It is sketch.
It is, it just wheel spun all the way
I don't
up.
blame him. I wouldn't want to be wheel spinning at 100 miles an hour. I've done it and it's not fun. Isn't it wicked that we get the best part of the weather at like 4:45 in the fucking evening?
And we've got to stop at 4:30.
And now we've got to knock it on the head. Paul, thank you so much for coming down today. I know it's, you know, a bit selfishly from my point of view, it's been great being around the car and I just love being around it and the smell and the noise and it's just wicked. I've never been in it before and I got to go in it earlier, so it's wicked.
Which was cool.
Now, we are doing 0 to 60 and 60 to 120. Because of the surface, as you probably saw in the footage, it's not great up there. And
No.
I saw you got back into it, come out, got back in, and it's just blazing the tyres the whole way.
Yeah, there's not a great grip level out there.
No.
The car got pretty sideways and we were black striping and I came off of it, straightened it up a little bit because it was going.
It was sideways, yeah.
Yeah, and then got back in it and it was doing the same again.
Yeah.
You know, with this kind of tarmac that you've got here, it's a very small contact patch, 35-40%, and that's why you're not getting
You
the
could
grip.
tell from the from our perspective, you could tell. However, so we haven't got a 60 to 120 because 120 miles an hour, if you can't actually safely accelerate to that pace, is like sketch. But now modern cars, 0 to 60 times modern cars is like you know modern cars do it quickly because they're so efficient. However, even on this surface, yours went to 60 mile an hour in 3.1 seconds, which is pretty impressive, really.
It's
I
not
mean,
bad.
it's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's faster than I thought it would be.
Well, yeah, but bearing in mind, like, on top of that, you were spinning the tyre through most of that.
Oh, it was lame rubber,
Yeah.
definitely. When I came back and I looked, it was like, ooh.
Yeah, black the whole way up.
Yeah.
So if it hooked, I mean, that's still faster than most cars do anyway. And it wasn't optimal. So fair play, mate. I think when we get back here next time, hopefully we can alternate things, and maybe like we were talking earlier about maybe going on the concrete. You know, might be better. But that's for a different time. So Paul, again, thanks very much, mate.
You're welcome.
It's always great.
Been fun.
It's always great hooking
the
up.
weather's beautiful.
Yeah, it's now, yeah. Ladies and gents, we are at the Flying Quarter. We're at Manston for the Flying Quarter because we've got a lot more of this going on. We're going to try and do this more frequently with Manston Airport and try and get a bit of no prep stuff done. So if you like what you saw, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell where you can while it's sunny. That, ladies and gents, is your lot.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man.